Alchemist idea of a giant distant sun. So this is our moon, and this is our sun. Observed from Earth, it is undeniable that the sun and moon have similar diameters, near identical. So who in their right minds would observe the sun and moon and then make up a truly bizarre assumption that the sun's diameter was 400 times bigger than the moon's, or that the sun is 400 times further away from the Earth than the moon? Surely simple observation and natural born logic dictates that no one would consider such absurd or unwarranted assumptions, but certain men did. The distance to the sun? Just pick any number between 3 million and 104 million miles. Aristarchus of Samos, 310 to 330 BC, Aristarchus was the first to present a heliocentric model that placed the sun at the centre of the known universe. His hypothesis was that the sun was much bigger than the moon, and from that assumption, he calculated that it was the Earth that revolved around the sun, and not the sun that was revolving around the Earth. Aristarchus also concluded that the sun was 19 times further away from the Earth than the moon, and 19 times bigger than the moon. From this, he calculated that the distance between the sun and the Earth was 4,750,000 miles. Nicholas Copernicus came along, 1473 to 1543. Copernicus formulated a model of the universe which placed the sun rather than the Earth at the centre of the universe. Although now taught throughout the world's education system as a fact, Copernicus' heliocentric theory has never been scientifically proven and is still considered to be theoretical. Copernicus calculated the sun's distance from the Earth to be 3,391,200 miles. Christian Huygens came along, 1629 to 1695. In 1653, astronomer Christian Huygens calculated the distance from the Earth to the Sun. He used the phases of Venus to find the angles Earth-Sun triangle. He calculated Venus to be the same size as Earth using unscientific methods such as numerology and mysticism. His calculations were thus based on assumptions and not any confirmed or provable data. Today, scientists still assume Venus to be about the same size as Earth, although to date no one has actually proved this to be true. Huygens estimated the distance from the Earth to the Sun to be 100 million miles. Johannes Kepler came along and estimated the Sun to be 12,376,800 miles away from Earth. Benjamin Martin calculated the distance to be between 81 and 82 million miles. Thomas Dilworth claimed 93,726,000 miles. John Hind theorized that the distance was 95,298,260 miles. Benjamin Gould calculated more than 96 million miles. Christian Meyer believed that the distance exceeded 104 million miles. So Isaac Newton flippantly came along and stated that it did not matter whether the Sun was 28 million or 54 million miles from Earth, for either will do just as well. Since ancient times, the overriding view of the Earth was that it was a flat, motionless disc-shaped plane surrounded by water and orbited by a sun, moon of equal size, describing a circular path in the sky, separating night from day, and for almost 5 millennia, the geocentric model of the Earth being at the centre of the universe was accepted by all but a few astronomers. Little wonder, since the stars and wandering stars, i.e., planets, could be clearly observed orbiting the night sky above a motionless Earth, as they can still be observed unchanged to this day. This view held sway right up until the emergence of the scientific revolution between the 14th and 16th centuries, when the flat Earth was gradually superseded by the globe Earth theory of Copernicus. This led to a long accepted flat Earth view being finally rejected by science in favour of Copernicus' new theory, whereby an enlarged sun replaced the Earth at the centre of the known universe, whilst the flat Earth was remodelled into a ball and downgraded to an insignificant spinning rock aimlessly orbiting the sun. The spinning globe Earth is almost 500 years old, yet still remains an unproven theory. How the spinning globe Earth began with one Big Bang. The general acceptance theory asserts that the universe was created by a Big Bang 13.7 billion years ago. It was this odd and quite unacceptable phenomenon that allegedly formed nebula clouds containing myriads of elements of gas, dust, rocks over time. The elements of one of these nebulas repeatedly merged, creating the sun, stars, and spherical planets of our solar system, including our Earth. But why did the newly formed Earth start spinning? Well, according to scientific theory, the Earth spins because the dust, rocks, and gas of the nebula were already rotating in a circular motion, and so, as they clustered together, forming a solar system, their newly created planets also began to spin. And yeah, of course, this entire theory continues to be nothing more than an unproven and unprovable pseudoscience claptrap. You ever wondered why science made the globe spin? There is only one good reason why science made the globe spin, and it was nothing to do with the unprovable Big Bang theory or the nonsensical spinning nebula filled with gas, dust, and rocks. From early times, it was clearly evident that unlike the motionless flat Earth, which was circled by a naturally orbiting sun, there could never be a sunrise or sunset on a motion globe Earth, since only one side of the globe would face towards the sun during orbit. A side that would be bathed in an intense, everlasting light, whilst the other side would be cloaked in a frigid state of eternal darkness. It was therefore essential for the heliocentric Earth to spin in order that the sun could still be seen to rise and set, and thus separate the day from night, as it did for millennia on a flat, motionless Earth. And that is the only reason why science made the globe Earth spin. Why, you may ask? So, why did science choose to make the bizarre decision to discard an uncomplicated geocentric model that had worked in a perfectly natural way for 5 millennia and replaced it with such a clearly illogical and unbelievably complex heliocentric model? A model which for almost 500 years has required science to constantly fabricate increasingly ludicrous and unprovable theories to cover the absurdities of a spinning globe Earth, pointlessly orbiting a gigantic sun. The question is, what is the purpose behind scientism, choosing to invent and promote the most prodigious lie in the entire history of human civilization? What would be the purpose, you're thinking? Well, the purpose was to ultimately deny humanity the knowledge of where we came from, who we are, and why we are here, by hiding the truth behind a veil of unproven lies and deception, to indoctrinate and control us, to turn us into brainwashed, sheep-walking disciples of scientism who meekly accept all of we are taught, told, or shown without question, to make us believe we are little or no importance, nothing but insignificant, soulless creatures living on an insignificant planet, born to wander aimlessly through a purposeless life until death claims our mortal bones and sends us into an unconscious oblivion. Whoever reads this, wake up.